to the EatFresh.org mini course for Catholic Charities of California webinar. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. My name is Jessica Sildorf, and I'm joined today by Erin Franey. We're both program coordinators for EatFresh.org at Leas Pantry, and we're excited to share this resource with you. We wanted to briefly say hello, so we'll be switching off our cameras now. All right. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with everything we do at Leas Pantry, I wanted to quickly give some background on our organization. Leas Pantry promotes healthier lives among low-income and food-insecure populations through innovative cooking and nutrition programs. We accomplish our mission through 3 strategies. First, we work directly with low-income individuals to support healthy, sustained behavior changes related to food choices, cooking, and shopping through interactive, effective, and culturally relevant programs. We primarily use our Food Smarts curriculum, which many of you use in your programs. Second, we work with organizations who serve low-income individuals to build their capacity to support these types of programs. This work includes staff training, including our Food Smarts training program, as well as other programs that work with agency staff. This webinar would be an example of this type of work. Last, we ensure that the right tools exist to make these programs effective. We develop and evaluate online nutrition education tools, community-driven recipes and cookbooks, and innovative curriculum to use both within our own programs and also to share with others. Our EatFresh.org tools, including the mini course, are examples of this strategy. All of our programs are based on the Stages of Change model. Most of you have heard of Stages of Change, but just as a reminder, the basic premise is that people need to be ready to receive information in order for it to resonate and influence behavior. When we talk about engaging Catholic Charities participants with the mini course in this webinar, we are trying to move people from not thinking about their diet to thinking about it and then on to taking action. Our challenge is getting people interested in EatFresh.org online tools and using what they learn to initiate and sustain healthy behaviors. So today we will cover mini course development, our step-by-step guide to using the mini course, integration strategies for Catholic Charities of California programs, tracking and reporting, and then we'll go on to next steps and have some time at the end for questions and answers. We've included our Getting Started guide and promotion flyers in English and Spanish in the shared files window. So make sure you download them since we'll be referencing these resources later on. And also we will be posting these on our online toolkit on the Leas Pantry website, which we will be emailing everyone after the webinar to make sure that you have all the files and the slides from today. So with all of our online tools, we recognize that core values for agencies and individuals are easy to use resources that positively encourage change and are inclusive of our diverse communities. We find that offering the flexibility of online resources is a key strategy, as well as offering incentives to encourage engagement and connections to other appropriate resources. The EatFresh.org mini course joins our 2 other online and mobile nutrition education interventions, EatFresh.org, the website, and our weekly text and email health tips. Used together, these tools equip low-income and food-insecure individuals with the skills and knowledge to make healthy dietary decisions that will ultimately reduce chronic disease and lead to lasting healthy behaviors. For agencies like Catholic Charities of California, integrating the mini course and other EatFresh.org tools into your programs can increase your capacity to deliver nutrition education and increase the digital health literacy of your participants. The EatFresh.org mini course grew out of our work building online courses for the CalFresh or food stamp population, the first of which was EatFresh.org. As many of you on this webinar know, EatFresh.org is a multilingual mobile-friendly recipe and chronic disease prevention website that was created by San Francisco Human Services Agency and Leas Pantry. It launched at the end of 2013. So thank you for those who have helped us promote the website to people all across California. We have reached over 120,000 unique individuals via eatfresh.org in 3 years. If you aren't familiar with eatfresh.org, we suggest you watch our short demo video, which Erin just pasted into the chat box. And that's on YouTube. So for those who are familiar with eatfresh.org, we're curious if any of you have a favorite recipe from the website. So if you do, go ahead and type it into the chat box right now. Or if you want to load the website in another tab and browse and just mention something that looks good to you, turkey chili. Oh yeah, tuna with apple, that's a good one. I've made that with pears. I think actually it is tuna with pears on the website, and apple can be swapped out pretty easily. And you can also swap the tuna for canned chicken. Broccoli salad, that's another good one. I'm glad to see that some of you have explored the site and remember some of the recipes. All right. The eatfresh.org mini course is an approved SNAP-Ed online nutrition class designed for low-income populations and the organizations that serve them. The mini course leverages the content of eatfresh.org by covering a wide variety of nutrition and food resource management topics and takes advantage of best practices in e-learning to deliver fun and engaging nutrition lessons. It was created for English and Spanish-speaking adult audiences with beginner computer skills. We have chosen a narrative instructional strategy for most of the topics with characters who are realistic and approachable for viewers. In many ways, these characters are the champion moms and dads of this population, modeling healthy behaviors and attitudes while also voicing common barriers and difficulties. While the short duration of the course makes it impossible to evaluate behavior change, it is designed to encourage behavior change among participants by increasing knowledge and confidence and influencing attitudes. It also serves as an introduction to using eatfresh.org as a resource for recipes and food prep tips, chronic disease prevention messaging, and local county information that they can return to again and again. Now I'll pass it over to Erin to go over how the mini course works.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being with us today. So I will be walking you through the mini course from creating a user account to how the course is structured and the topics covered. So there are 2 ways to access the mini course. From the eatfresh.org homepage, there's a button in the center, kind of a third of the way down, that reads, "Take the free eatfresh.org mini course." We have temporarily also added a red banner at the top of eatfresh.org to draw people's attention to the mini course. We are still experimenting with the best ways to link the mini course in eatfresh.org, so this will continue to evolve over time. And clicking either link will take you to a landing page that we just made and updated today, explaining the benefits of taking the mini course to kind of help people then get to the step of creating an account. And then the other way to access the mini course is by typing eatfresh.org/mini course into your browser. And again, it'll go to that sort of beautiful landing page and then on to creating an account. Once you arrive on the login screen, you can change the language in the dropdown at the top right-hand side of the screen. So I'll just wait a second for it to load so you can see where that is. Also, Elsa, I love the Three Sisters salad as well. It's one of my go-tos for workshops and health fairs. Okay, so this is the homepage of eatfresh.org. So Jessica's pointing to the Take the Free eatfresh.org mini course, that button kind of right in the center. And then,
Sorry,
and then
I just
here
did the link, so sorry about that. That'll be fixed later.
Yes, and then here is what this new kind of middle page looks like. Again, we just heard feedback from folks that if they went directly to the homepage for the mini course, that it wasn't clear enough what exactly the mini course was or why someone wanted to take it. So this is an intermediary kind of page to help get people motivated and inspired. And then when you click here, you'll get to the page to either create an account or to log in. And so just like Jessica showed, that language switcher is in the upper right-hand corner, and the course is fully available in English and Spanish. And you can also change the language at any time while taking the course. So to create an account, begin by clicking the orange button that reads Create New Account. And then first I'm going to choose a username and a password. And then enter in my email address, name, and location information. We recommend having participants write down their login credentials on an EatFresh.org recipe card, write it in a note app on their phone, or model it after username and passwords they have for other online accounts. While this last suggestion isn't a recommended strategy for accounts storing sensitive personal data like banking websites, it can be okay for our mini course site. Also, note that login credentials created for saving recipes on eatfresh.org will not work for the mini course. While the design of the two sites looks similar, they are two completely different websites, which means users need to create a separate account for the mini course. Next, you'll see a space for a referral code. All Catholic Charities of California offices will use the same referral code, CCC. Because users must enter in their city when they create accounts, we should be able to easily sort users by Catholic Charities office. If you are helping people create accounts, please make sure they write in the city where you are running the programming to get the most accurate information. And for Catholic Charities in Santa Rosa and Monterey, we know we already decided on slightly different referral codes, and we apologize for this change. We will make sure to check for those codes as we transition to having all Catholic Charities offices use the CCC referral code. We just realized that that was going to be kind of easier for everyone. The mini course is an approved SNAP-Ed direct education intervention. So if Catholic Charities participants register with your referral code, we will be able to send you data that you can enter into the ATF or whatever systems your agency uses as a direct education intervention. We will explain more about tracking and reporting later in this webinar. The rest of the questions on the account creation page collect demographic information from the SNAP-Ed data card. Once all of the questions have been answered, click Create My New Account, and the dashboard will load on your screen. So we just want to quickly ask a poll question. Based on what we just showed you, how comfortable do you feel walking a group through creating an account on the mini course? So that poll is loading. So just take a moment to answer it. The options are very comfortable. I still have a few questions, but I think I could do it, and I'm lost. Help. Okay, so we'll wrap up this poll. Okay, it looks like people mostly feel comfortable and some have a few questions. So for folks that are still feeling like they have questions, go ahead and type them into the chat box, or you can raise your hand and then we can give you mic access so we can just address those questions right now. Oh, what is this soup? What soup is that a picture of? That is from one of our new cookbooks. Jessica, do you remember the title of that recipe off the top of your head?
I'm sorry, which soup were we talking about? Was that on one of our
The
slides?
on that on the splash page, the chicken soup.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites. So that's from the Around the World cookbook. Gosh, what is the name? It's a tagine, chicken tagine with olives and artichokes, I think might be the official title of that
Mm.
recipe. Let me find it real quick and then I can paste the link in the chat box. It is
Mhm.
very good. I have to say, I have made it myself many times.
Okay, any questions about the account creation process? You'll see when Jessica just created that account that it only allowed for lowercase letters in the username. Sometimes things like that we even forget. So it's good that you have all created your own accounts or will soon so that you kind of know some of those things to make it as easy for a group as possible to be able to quickly create accounts and not run into barriers. Okay, so it looks like no one had any specific questions, but if something comes up, please just go ahead and type it into the chat box, and we can address them as we go. So now we're going to take a look at the mini course layout and flow.
Erin, it's taking a little while to load to
Okay.
share my screen here. I'm not quite sure why. Let me stop this and try again. Okay. So it's just stalling for a minute.
Great. So this is, again, that dashboard. So we just created my account. And then you'll click at the bottom where it says course overview. That's where you click to get into the course dashboard. The mini course is made up of 15 topics grouped into 3 categories: nutrition basics, creating wholesome meals, and planning and shopping. Users can complete the topics in any order. Adult learning research indicates that engagement is often higher when users have the ability to choose the topics they're most interested in taking, rather than being required to take classes in a predefined order. That being said, people also like the idea of making progress, so users can download certificates of completion when they finish all 5 topics in a group. The organization of topics is as follows. So under nutrition basics, finding low sodium foods using nutrition labels, how much sugar is in your favorite drink, do you eat the rainbow, can you identify these healthy whole grains, and easy meal makeovers. And then in creating wholesome meals, eating a healthy breakfast is easier than you think. What's your portion IQ? Learn to make delicious and easy turkey chili. Making soup is easy. Get smart about your health goals. And lastly, under planning and shopping, keep food fresh for longer with eatfresh.org. Outsmart the grocery store. Easy meatless meals using eatfresh.org. Planning healthy holidays with eatfresh.org. And breastfeeding means mom and baby eating right. So we wanted to ask, I know we requested that each of you watch at least one of the topics before this webinar, and we're just interested to know which one you watched. So if you did get a chance to watch at least one, go ahead and type into the chat box the one that you chose. And if you watched several, then pick the one that you thought was most interesting. Hey, Melanie watched Do You Eat the Rainbow? Okay, Alejandra watched Finding Low Sodium Foods Using Nutrition Labels. Great. Anyone else that watched a topic or has a favorite from the ones that you've seen so far? How much sugar is in your favorite drink, Jenny? Yeah. Great. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the topics. And if you have kind of any feedback or things that you felt like were good takeaways from it, also feel free to go ahead and type that in now. April watched What's Your Portion IQ? Great. So as you've seen, each topic takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete, depending on the user. The beauty of this course is that it's self-paced and you're able to jump back to previous slides or watch it as many times as you'd like. There are a total of 3 certificates of completion that can be earned, which you can use for incentives within your programs. For example, you may be able to offer clients a reusable grocery bag when they receive their first certificate, or they could be entered into a raffle for a grocery gift card each time they receive a certificate of completion. At the bottom of the course overview page, you'll see an optional feedback survey where individuals can give their opinion of the course, participate in a discussion forum, and download files that were referenced in the course topics. As some of you know, the USDA has recently released new SNAP-Ed evaluation guidance. We are still finalizing our fiscal year 2017 mini course evaluation tool. Once we have completed our pre- and post-course questionnaires, they will be included as people create new accounts on the mini course. Participants will be required to take the pre-course questionnaire prior to watching any of the topics. This will then unlock the first 5 of those topics that were under nutrition basics, which users can watch in any order. And then they'll be prompted to take the post-course questionnaire. After completing that, the other 10 topics will be unlocked and users can watch them in any order. We are working with Dan Perales, who I think is also the Catholic Charities of California evaluator, to finalize the questionnaires, and then we'll work with our engineers to get them integrated into the mini course. So we expect to have them ready for use by the end of 2016. So again, kind of going forward, the way that the course looks now will be slightly different for people who create new accounts once we have our questionnaires, the evaluation tool up and running. And we'll make sure to notify you so that you're aware of that change once it happens. So if you're creating an account with a group of people, you know that that's what you'll be seeing. So now I'm going to pass it back over to Jessica to talk about tracking and reporting.
All right, thanks, Erin. One of the exciting things about the mini course is our ability to capture both demographic information as well as outcome information for our users. This is useful for both tracking metrics required by funders and for further developing and improving an online course. Thus, to share with Catholic Charities and other programs who refer clients to this course. As a reminder, it is completely up to the individual to enter the referral code when they are creating a new account. If they don't enter the code, they will not be included in the data associated with your referral code. So make sure you stress the importance of using that referral code so you can track your clients. We just finished entering mini course data into the activity tracking form, or ATF, for fiscal year 2016 and made several adjustments to how the mini course is reported for SNAP-Ed funded agencies. In order to report on each person who accesses the mini course, we have grouped participants into the following categories. The first is those who have created an account and watched fewer than 5 topics will be counted as indirect education participants. Those who have watched between 5 and 9 topics will be counted as single session direct education participants. Those who have watched between 10 and 14 topics will be counted as 2-session direct education participants. And finally, those who have watched all 15 topics will be counted as 3-session direct education participants. We do exclude staff of partner agencies from these reports. We will provide an Excel spreadsheet with data from your participants already formatted for entry into whatever tracking system your agency uses, and share that data once a year. For those using the ATF, you will likely need to add a site to your site list so you can input the mini course as a direct education intervention. The site name we have chosen with CDPH is online eatfresh.org mini course - multiple locations. Evan Talmadge has added this site into our site list and is aware that other agencies may request this site as well. While we only provide reporting data once a year, we can share information such as the number of people who have created accounts using your referral code on a monthly or quarterly basis. Since this is a new process for us, we will rely on feedback from all of you. Online direct education has not really been done before in the SNAP Ed world, so we look forward to breaking new ground with this type of program. We know the topic of online nutrition education is interesting to the national audience, and we were excited to share our initial results on a poster at the Society of Nutrition Education and Behavior Conference in San Diego this past summer, and then next week at APHA in Denver, where we were selected to deliver 2 oral presentations on the development and pilot results of this course. Back to you, Erin.
Yep, thanks. So now let's talk about the steps you need to take to implement the mini course into Catholic Charities programs. So step 1 is designate a staff member at your agency to coordinate outreach and promotion of the mini course. While the mini course can save you time and money on nutrition education, you will still need a dedicated staff member to do outreach and follow up with participants. We will be sending a video recording of this webinar once we're done, so please have this designated staff member watch the webinar. We also mentioned using certificates of completion as incentives. If you offer incentives to your clients, that staff person within your office will also need to follow through on managing and issuing these incentives. And again, we can be helpful by providing data about who has completed 5 topics or 10 topics of the mini course back to you. Step 2 is request custom recipe cards and posters on our online order form, which Jessica can put into the chat box. And we can include the CCC referral code on these materials. And then the flyers we linked in the chat box, I actually realized we have one update to make to them. We will resend out those flyers in a follow-up email and also put them on the Leas Pantry toolkit. But Jessica will want to change that, go to lms.eatfresh.org. We just updated this morning. So those will be shortly ready to use in print and immediately add into your programs. And then step 3 is promote the mini course with your clients at classes, health fairs, through emails, at trainings, or any other method that works for your population. You know the best way to reach them. Offer incentives to motivate clients to complete the course. If you have a computer lab, take advantage and host a specific time for clients to begin the mini course. Offer technical assistance to those who may not be as comfortable with using a desktop computer, and facilitate a discussion afterwards about lessons learned in the mini course. You can also demo the mini course on a smartphone to a small group of people whenever you have internet access. If you train community members or partners in health promotion, try encouraging them to take the mini course prior to the training as an introduction to nutrition topics. Lastly, we also encourage you to reach out to partners you work with who may run job training or life skills programs or computer literacy classes for adults and seniors. These would be ideal locations to share the mini course and have that site incorporated as part of their curriculum. And we wanted to share 3 strategies that we have seen work successfully so far are 1, bringing tablets and laptops to a health fair, and then giving a grocery bag or some kind of small gift to everyone who creates a mini course account on the spot. Just make sure to have people write down their username and password so they can return to the course later on. Our mini course recipe cards are great for writing down login credentials. The second, like I mentioned, is running the mini course at library computer labs. So if you are running programming at a library site already, or if there are libraries within the counties or cities where you work, reach out to staff and then plan a time to host the mini course as a single session nutrition class. And then lastly, anytime you're training a partner, or let's say you have interns coming on to your organization, have them go through that nutrition basics, those first 5 topics. And that will be, again, a great way for them to get introduced to these topics and using the mini course. Step 4 is request data, mini course data from Leas Pantry staff. And we will plan on sending every office a quarterly report, but if you would like data more frequently, let us know. And step 5 continue promotion and outreach. So we wanted to ask if anyone has any other ideas for how to promote the mini course, or if you've already started mini course promotion and have kind of lessons learned, please go ahead and type those in now. So yeah, any ideas or things that you've tried in terms of mini course promotion, you can go ahead and type them into the chat box. And if not, keep those things percolating and type them in at any time. But before we move on to Q&A, we want to let you know that we are continuing to develop materials to support partner organizations and their clients to use the mini course. For example, we are creating a short video for new users that walks through how to create an account and reasons to take the mini course. This will be online soon. We will also make a short video for partners that explains the account creation process and tips to keep in mind when working with someone with low digital literacy. We will also add an outline for a single session mini course class for a library or computer lab setting. Both the video and the lesson plan will be available on our EatFresh.org toolkit. We're hoping to have those done in the next week or two. If you think of other resources that would be helpful, please let us know. We are excited to continue adding supportive tools to make the mini course as appealing and easy to use as possible.
All right, so we're curious, for those who have taken the mini course already or at least started it, what was your initial impression and what did you like or not like about it? Go ahead and type into the chat box and just give us your initial feedback. I see a couple people typing. I guess everyone has a lot to say. Oh, okay. Here's the first one. Oh my gosh. I need to make this bigger, I guess. I can. Oh, it's not letting me. Here we go. Okay, Cindy said, I liked it. I felt it was very easily manipulated and should be easy for some clients who are not that well versed in computer skills. The content is great. Maria said, I like it, but I believe it is important sites with computers. I'm guessing you meant to say it's important to use it at sites with computers. That's certainly true. Not everyone will have a smartphone that would be able to access it. So definitely a site with computers, or if anyone has the ability to have tablets that they bring to sites, we have found at Leas Pantry that works very well. Anyone else have feedback to give us? And it doesn't have to be positive feedback. It could be just anything, just initial impressions. We're open to hearing about improvements that you might want to see. Jenny says, it's easy to follow and complete. Great. We certainly did a lot of user testing in the beginning. It's housed in Moodle, which some of you may have heard of before. That's the learning management system that tracks all of the activity on the mini course and also houses the modules themselves. And out of the box, Moodle is a little clunky, so we've spent some time improving the user experience and testing it with the low-income audience. So hopefully it will be approachable for your clients. But again, if anything, comes up that's frustrating for many clients, like if it's a recurring problem, please let us know, because we do want to know where those issues are so we can invest some time in improving them. All right, so we have some time left for Q&A, so you can either type questions into the chat box or use the raise your hand icon, and we can pass over the mic for you to ask your question through audio. So any questions about anything that we reviewed today? Anything that's confusing, misleading? Okay, looks like we might have one question. I'm not seeing anyone raising their hand in the attendee list there. Okay, Jenny asks, just to clarify, each county will eventually get its own referral code. Not quite. So everyone who is a Catholic Charities agency is using the CCC referral code. So regardless of your location, CCC will be your referral code. When we go in to pull your data, we are going to use the city that your participants have entered in order to determine which office it is linked to, which office that user is linked to. So you can begin using CCC right now. Great question. I'm glad you asked that, because we certainly had a different strategy when we first started this, but then decided the referral codes were just getting too complicated, and we could foresee some problems with users entering that. So we decided just to keep it simple, using CCC and then using their city to then separate out the data at the end. Looks like we have one more question. Lisa says, when reports are sent out to agencies, will each agency receive the report for all CCC agencies or just those cities that correspond to the agency? As of right now, our plan is just to send out only the data that matches your location, your city, not all Catholic Charities data. But if everyone wants to receive all the data, that's an option too. We can certainly do that. But yeah, for now, the plan is just to send your data for your city or county. I think it's better to separate by city. Okay, yes, that was our plan. So glad to know that that is the preference. All right, Jenny asks, is it recommended for adults only, or can we use with youth in middle school or high school? I'm glad you asked that. So it was built for adults. It certainly can be used by middle school and high schoolers. We did focus groups last September, actually, about a year ago, with I guess it was between the ages of 18 and 24, so some older teens and young adults. And they gave positive feedback about the course, although in those discussions they identified that live video, like on YouTube, is really their preference for receiving information like this. So we did start to build out our EatFresh.org YouTube channel, specifically to appeal to teens and young adults. But again, that being said, they enjoyed the course, they had positive feedback about it, and I think it's appropriate for them. You may hear feedback like, it's a little slow, or I don't know, just they've given different reactions than adults, because I think they're just so used to very quick, fast-paced information delivery, especially through video. And certainly the editing trend in those videos right now is really short, quick cuts. And that's just the style that youth seems to be gravitating towards. But by all means, you can certainly use it with youth, yes. I hope that answers your question, Jenny.
Great, and I just wanted to let everyone know too, I just updated those flyers. So they are now, I think, good to go in English and Spanish. So print them out today and start sharing them with people or send them to your staff. They're ready to go.
Great, thank you, Erin.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions before we wrap up the webinar? All right, I don't see anyone typing, so I'll assume that that's a no. Like I said earlier, we will be sending out an email with a link to this webinar recording, the files that we referenced in the webinar along with the slides. And feel free to share it with anyone who may have missed this webinar and needs this information. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope that this has been helpful. And again, if you have any questions that come up after this webinar or as you begin using it, please reach out to Erin or myself. Our contact information is on the screen right now. And we look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much.